Michael Vick. I'm sure everyone in this room has heard that name before. Once a promising young athlete that was considered a human highlight reel, known for his incredible athleticism. Vick was the first overall selection in the 2001 draft. This feat alone guaranteed him millions of dollars. As his career progressed, he proved he was worth the money and the show. People couldn't keep his name out of their mouth. According to Marcus Garner and Simon Marchand in a newspaper article titled Michael Vick to wear number 7 with Philly, published August 14, 2009, Mike Vick's performance on the field brought him a record-setting 10-year, $130 million contract. So obviously he was making good money. This contract ushered Vick into a category all of his own, making him one of the highest paid players to ever play the game. As talented an athlete Vick was, no one really knew what was going on behind the scenes. The young athlete was turned onto an odd and unusual form of gambling that financed animal cruelty and often death of animals. Yes, I'm talking about dogfighting. Vick acquired a taste for this cruel and inhumane act of animal abuse, a taste that cost him 18 months of his life and his multi-million-dollar contract. Dogs are beautiful creatures that in most cases are man's best friend. A good dog is a loyal and great companion. So when people talk about dogfighting, most pass it on as if it's not a real problem in their area. Stated by James McKinley in his article, Dogfighting is a Subculture in Texas, published in the New York Times December 6, 2008, dogfighting rings have been a large underground framework that is linked up to many other organizations throughout the United States and Mexico. Not only does it draw large crowds that enjoy the sport, it also includes hefty purses as well, meaning gambling. So as we can see, dogfighting is more widespread throughout our country than most people know. Dogfighting is a very serious issue that seems to be sweeping the nation, and without our help, many more animals will be seriously injured or killed for people's entertainment. Measures must be taken in order to protect man's best friend. First, we will discuss the problems with dogfighting and lack of awareness. Second, I will talk about causes of dogfighting as well as a breed used, most commonly used. Finally, I will talk about solutions that can help prevent dogfighting altogether. No one paid much attention to illegal dogfighting until Michael Vick was caught doing it. In an article published March 31st, 2010, titled "Authorities Report Surge in Dogfighting Investigations in Philadelphia" in last year, in the Los Angeles Times, in 2009, 903 cases of dogfighting were investigated. This was nearly 3 times as many as the previous year. Vick's presence brings a much more clear understanding of what is going on. Although dogfighting has been around for hundreds of years, recent generations have only intensified the sport to new levels. As stated by Hannah Gibson in her article titled "Dogfighting, Detailed Discussion," published in 2005, dogs have been exploited for blood sports since the ancient Roman times, where they fought other animals in the Colosseum. It was around 1817 the dog was brought to America and dogfighting became very popular. Once these fiercely trained dogs reached the States, the sport of dogfighting grew rapidly. It was immediately sponsored by the United Kennel Club. Rules and referees were set up at public places in order to have events where people could openly wager and gamble on it. Nowadays, fighting has become much more intense. The training of dogs is very harsh and cruel, often resulting in the death of other innocent animals, called baiting. They steal local animals, local house pets, and they get the dog riled up and they'll drop the animal in there so the dog can practice killing it so it gets more vicious for a dog fight. Dogs are often killed by hanging if they don't perform up to their standards of aggressiveness. Dogs are often killed by hanging from trees, electrocution, drowning, or left to die if they lose in a fight. There are three categories of dogfighting that occur across the country and world. Information by the ASPCA, Dogfighting Fact, updated August 17, 2010. Street fighting is the most common form of dogfighting. People usually fight their dogs in parks and are very unorganized. Hobbyist dogfighting is a little more organized. Often these are planned and have spectators to watch and wager on the fights. Professional is the last form and also the most alert and organized form of dogfighting. In an online article titled How Dogfighting Works, written by Jacob Silverman, written July 27, 2007, breeders often take advantage of pit bulls' extreme loyalty towards their owners and fearless nature to turn them aggressive and good fighting dogs, meaning that pit bulls, in most cases, are considered to be bad dogs or overly aggressive, when the reality is a pit bull is actually the most loyal dog that strives its hardest to get your trust, your loyalty, and your awareness. So a pit bull, when it fights, isn't actually fighting just because. It's fighting because you're trying to make it fight. It's protecting you. Dog fighting has been around for hundreds of years, and as every year passes, fiercer breeds of dog are used to make the fight more interesting. Pit bulls, as well as other breeds, have been used for the years because of their never-lose mentality. Often trained from birth, the dogs are made very rough and usually grown to dislike people and other animals. From birth, the dogs are roughed up, tossed around, thrown against the wall. There's a vast amount of type of dogs that are used in dog fights, but some of the more popular breeds are Rottweilers, Doberman Pinschers, and of course pit bulls. Forms of dog fighting have been used since ancient times, often used for many different types of warfare. The interest in dogfighting is believed to have originated in ancient times when the Romans invaded Britain, and their dogs were much more prepared for battle and better trained, told by Monaco via Valencio in an article titled History of Dogfighting, updated July 19, 2007. In street fighting, dogs are often used in order to gain street respect and expand any given territory in the gang. It's a more simpler, common way than actually just going out and fighting and killing each other. These fights usually take place in public areas and leave wounded or dead animals behind, such as parks and playgrounds. In hobbyist fighting, the thrill of being successful and winning money is more the appeal to the breeders and the fighters. As dogs win more, they may enter different fights, and they breed these dogs to keep the winning blood alive. Professional fighting is done in order to prove your best and gain significant social status, as well as large sums of money for different services you may offer to the lower ranks of fighting, such as breeding your dog or giving an overly aggressive dog away to a lower rank so they could fight it, which in turn leads it to fight people, and then we have a problem. These dogs obviously have a very harsh and rough reality, facing issues such as permanent disfiguration and hatred and more than likely death. Living in hatred and more than likely death. Having discussed issues on why dogs are fought, we must react and help man's best friend. Thankfully, there are a few programs and techniques that can be done in order to help keep our friends without voices safe. There are a few things that can be done in order to help prevent and possibly stop illegal dogfighting in the U.S. Lug Nuts is a great and positive program that offers a great alternative to dogfighting. And here's the problem, Michael Vick. This is his dog that he fought, and they captured it, they brought it back. And Lug Nuts, you could reach them right here. There's a phone number that you could call, you could donate. Lug Nuts is an alternative that was created in 2002, and what it is a lady came out and said a lot of trainers like to destroy their brawn and their brutality. So instead of fighting their dogs, trainers can still train their dogs and they put dog tags, dog food in sleds and let the dogs pull the sled in a friendly competition instead of having the dogs fight. Another alternative is to write a letter to the Senate or to Barack Obama and ask him to harshen the rules for people attending dog fights as well as fighting dogs. And that is my speech.